Hello, everybody. How are you today? So I am on my way to the store, and I wanted to make this really quick video because I don't know if you all are aware of Monique, the comedian, and DL Hughley, who's another comedian. Both of them I like very much. Okay, grew up with them, you know, listening to their comedy, their movies, all that stuff. Okay, so I'm not going to give you too much of the history because you might already know, but over the years, so Monique got an Oscar. She won an Oscar for the movie Precious some years ago, like years and years ago. And after that, after winning an Oscar, you would think somebody would get a lot of work, but like the exact opposite happened for her. She'd been, according to her, she'd been blackballed by various people, including Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, who's a director, all kind of folks. Okay. And she's been talking about it. You hear me? She's been very, very verbal over the years over how all these folks done wronged her. Okay. Now, she ended up getting an interview or scheduling an interview with T.S. Madison. Now, I don't know if you probably don't know T.S. Madison, but she's a transgendered woman, man, something like that. I forget how that goes. But she has her own show. She's doing a whole bunch of stuff anyway. And she came up on YouTube. Okay. So, so it's through T.S. Madison and some other folks and 50 Cent, okay, who's a rapper, right? That Monique is now getting back in the mainstream. And people are, 50 Cent is about to book her for something. So now DL Hughley, who, he has his own radio show. He's really big in comedy. He was one of the kings of comedy. He agreed to go on stage with Monique to do what they call it, a co-headlining thing. So they're both the headliners. I don't know how that works because the headliner normally goes last, but whatever. So, and this happened like last week or something. Now, just stay with me, okay? I'm getting to it. Now, Monique went on stage. Now, you can go on, just Google Monique on stage or Monique eviscerates DL Hughley, and you'll see the video for yourself. All right. So this lady, she got on stage and apparently there was some contract issue where she thought that she should have gone last, meaning she would be headlining. Okay. Now, there's a whole thing about clout and payments and all that. So she didn't go last, and she had a lot to say about it. She cussed DL. I mean, this woman called him everything you can think of, okay, on the stage. And DL had to go up after her. So now there's been a whole thing. So she did what she did. He responded on his radio show. She responded again, whatever. Now, Monique is doubling down. So now she's bringing in his daughter and people are like, hold on, Monique. I mean, come on, pump the brakes. Because now, when in the beginning she said it was a contract issue, but now she's saying it's something else. Now, why am I talking about this on this channel? Okay. Because it's like this is the way that I see what is going on here. Okay. This ain't nothing new. All right. Now, let me tell you. So when I was small, I would go to my grandmother's house, Gamala. We called it Gamala. And spend the night. I used to love going to Gamala's house, okay? Because she let us do anything we wanted to do. And she always, she cooked real good and all that stuff, all right? Well, it was time for me to take a bath. My oldest sister told me, Cheryl, go take a bath. I didn't like taking baths, okay, when I was young. I'm like, for what? Okay? Because, apparently you don't smell yourself when you're small. You just think everything is okay, all right? So she said, go take a bath. So I was crying and stuff and, because I didn't want to go get in the tub and all that. So my grandmother, she said, Cheryl, just go take a bath, boo. I'm here. It's okay and all that. So I said, okay. So I went in the bathroom. I ran the water. Now my grandmother had this, it wasn't like a regular tub. It was, it was big old, those big silver tub looking things. It's big enough for a person to fit in, but it's like a big silver bucket. Okay. And it's elongated. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got no clawed feet on it. It's just a big old tin bucket. All right. So she put hot water in there and I had the soap and all that. So she did all that. I stayed in the bathroom. I ain't getting the water. I didn't. I closed the door. I stayed in there. I don't know how long I stayed in there, but long enough in my mind for to fool everybody, to think that I had actually gotten in the tub. Not even considering the smell, the dirt, the clothes, nothing. Okay. So I went out the bathroom. I told my grandma, I said, I'm finished. She said, okay. My sister came in there and started yelling at me. You lying. You did not get in the tub. And I said, yes, I did. So now I'm crying again. And I'm telling my grandmother, Darlene don't want to leave me alone. She keep making me get in the tub and I already took a bath. She said, Darlene said, Charlotte, let me see the bottom of your feet. The bottom of my feet were black as tar, honey. I mean, tar. And I saw how black they was. And I still doubled down. I took a bath while you messing with me. I'm crying because I was committed. Okay. Look, the evidence was there. I saw it. They saw it. They knew I didn't take a bath. I knew I didn't take a bath, but I was committed to the lie. Okay. I took a bath. I don't care what you see. Okay. I don't care what you smell. I don't care that I have the same clothes on and my feet black as tar. I don't care. I am committed to this statement that I took a bath. Okay. So I feel like this is Monique. Okay. This is what's going on in this situation because number one, the justification for all the vitriol that was spilled, against D.L. Hughley was in the beginning one thing. And now that, it's been at least a week since this happened, and she's getting even more personal, bringing in history of his daughter's sexual abuse and so, stuff that has absolutely nothing at all and now there's a different justification for that kind of stuff. I feel like that's like doubling down, but don't we do that? Don't we double down? Now, commitment is typically a very admirable trait in people. We want people to be committed to something that they start. That's nice. That's a good thing to have, is commitment. But what if you're committed to digging your own grave? Okay. What if you're committed to tearing down something that you've built? What if you're committed to tearing somebody else down, and justifying that as, in a way that helps you sleep at night? Okay. Like how do we number one, see what we're doing? Now, I saw what I was doing. Like, I knew what I was doing. But now it was not about Cheryl taking a bath. So everything shifted. Okay. Everything shifted. And even if I'm getting deeper and deeper and deeper in the lie and deeper in the lie and deeper, and now I have to do more justification and all that stuff, because now the goal is not to to be clean. The goal is not to obey my sister or, to please my grandmother. The goal is not to feel fresh and clean, in my case. In Monique's case, the goal is not to get things right with this contract. The goal is not to no longer, demonstrate that I am worthy of headlining. Now the goal is to be right. Okay. By any means necessary. The goal is to be right. And that's what I mean by when you're committed to digging your own grave, when you are committed to being right, that really blinds you to all kinds of things. All kinds of things. I mean, you go blind right before your eyes, your own eyes. You know, your vision starts to blur. You see the dark spots coming around the edges, but you continue and continue and continue because now the goal is to be right. I'm telling you, that being right, that stuff right there is so dangerous. It really. So okay, you could be right, but now your career, like, you have no career. Nobody wants to work with you. You can be right, but now, you know, you're full of maggots, you know, and stuff, because the flies done found a home because you just don't want to take a bath. You know what I mean? But you're right, though. But you're right. So is it worth it? Is it really worth it to be right? Okay, because we feel like it is, because we feel like being wrong is almost like a death, right? If you're proven wrong, and that's a whole nother video that I've already done on that. Okay, but this DL and Monique thing, very interesting, very, very interesting. You know, and if you haven't seen it, go look at it and see what kind of see what kind of things you can pick out of there that remind you of you. I mean, these are people, okay? They're no different than we are, no different than we are. And speaking of that, I have another thing that I'm going to talk about when I get to the house, and I'm going to upload. It's about John Gray. Okay, I don't know if y'all have heard Pastor John Gray. He's apologizing again. Okay, but there's lessons here. Okay, there are things in here, okay, that we can see and recognize, you know, in ourselves. So this is not about judging Monique and DL or whatever, you know. Yeah, I got my opinion about it. I absolutely 100% do. Okay. But I also want to use this whole experience as a mirror, you know, which is something that's we can do. We can do that. We can use others' experiences as mirrors, you know, that help us, because in the judgment video, I talked about how we need other people, because I can't turn my head around and see myself. We need other people to help us see who we are. Okay. And that's exactly what these kinds of things do. All right. I'm at my destination, so I'm gonna holler at y'all later.